Good morning, good afternoon, good evening internet, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Economical Rides.
Hi there, you joined me today out on Buddy again on the road to Alto de Velefique, because we're going to do some back-to-back testing. Yeah, so let's go. Right, so here we are again on the climb to Alto de Velefique. Now normally, as you know, I don't tend to ride the same road twice, certainly not in quick succession. But we're out here again today because I'm doing some back-to-back testing. I've been playing with the suspension and the tyre pressures, so I just wanted to come out on the same road today so we get a fair comparison. What I've done today is I've gone up one on the preload, so now the preload is at 3 clicks, and I've also gone down 2 psi at the rear, so I've dropped from the standard 32 to 30 on the rear. And to compensate for that, I've gone down 1 on the front, so the front is 31 instead of 32. So the road out here is, as I mentioned before, very bad. The surface itself is not broken up, but it's kind of washboarded, so it gives a really horrible ride. And coming out here today with this setup, I think that's as good as you're going to get. I mean, it actually felt like the rear was actually soaking up more of the bumps than the front. So I think now the front is probably slightly stiffer than the rear. So that was that little bit of back-to-back testing, was the suspension testing. On the way home from the last video, I did decide to push on a little bit, and that's when I discovered that actually this preload adjustment at the rear actually seems to have improved the handling mid-bend. So like when you're trying to carry a bit of corner speed, on the side of the tyre, the rear suspension seems to be better damped. You don't get so much wallowing. So that's another advantage of the preload increase. The bike feels more stable in the bends now when you're leant over, so that was a pleasant bonus. And I think this setup now with 3 clicks of preload and the slightly lower tyre pressures is absolutely fine. I mean, it's still a fairly harsh riding bike overall, but it's certainly no longer the case that every jolt goes straight up your spine. For me, it's about 75 kilos with my gear on. The suspension seems to be working quite well now and soaking up a fair bit of the old impact. So that's one little bit of back-to-back testing that we're doing today, and the other bit of back-to-back testing is of far more interest to the channel in general, is audio-video testing, because I've changed some camera settings for this video, and I've also got a new microphone position, because ever since I've had this helmet, I've not had a lot of headroom with regard to wind. So if it's a very still day, I can just about get away with the audio. There's still quite a lot of wind in the background, but I can get away with it. But I've had quite a few windy days where I've had to record, and on those days I've pretty much had to throw away the audio, because the way the GoPro noise reduction works, it reduces the wind noise, but at the same time it reduces your voice, so you end up not really being able to hear the voice at all. So those were the videos where I've had to put music over the top and just bin the audio altogether. So I've got a new microphone position. I've modded the helmet a little bit to try and keep the wind noise down, so hopefully you'll notice an improvement. The main thing is because I do have to, I mean, first of all, it's always fairly windy where I live because it's a valley. But I do have to ride on windy, extremely windy days from time to time, and as anybody who's recorded audio on a motorcycle will know, it's not easy to do at the best of times, and certainly not when it's blowing a storm and your helmet's not behaving. So yeah, if you could let me know in the comments how you're finding the video quality first of all, and second of all how you're finding the audio quality, that would be very helpful. So that's just another thing we're testing today. So again, we're on the same road, so we've got a good comparison of the suspension, of the audio and the video. So what we'll do today is I'll show you this entire road today, because I think it's only about 15 minutes, so you can just come along for the ride on my new improved Buddy suspension here in the bends. Loving it. Talking about shocks in general, I did have a comment the other day from somebody who, Andy, I'll put his name on the screen, Andy mentioned in the comments that he'd fitted the Tech bike parts shocks to his Meteor and had found them a significant improvement. So that's another option for those of you looking for shock upgrades. The most popular one at the moment still seems to be the Endurance Classic 500 gas filled shocks from India, but apparently the Tech bike parts Meteor shocks also improved the ride comfort. So thanks for that information, Andy. But I've got to say now, I don't think I'll be upgrading the shocks on Buddy now. Certainly not until the OEM ones have worn out, I think, because I'm quite happy with how he's riding at the moment. And I mean, it's already at the point, like I said, where the rear now feels better suspended than the front. Front feels very harsh, very stiff. So I think even if you got a shock upgrade, and you know, you managed to go softer at the rear, I think the front would start to get on your nerves then. So then you'd be looking to maybe get some different fork springs, or maybe some lighter oil, I don't know, but I imagine it's probably the springs, the same as it is at the rear. The whole spring setup on these bikes seems to be for more weight, so a lighter rider like myself doesn't get much suspension at all with the OEM setup. Hence why we need to add the preload to get onto the softer part of the spring, and possibly unstick the damping as well. We've had that theory that maybe the dampers, when the spring is fully extended, that the dampers kind of stick and they're reluctant to move, especially with a lighter rider. So by adding preload, you're pushing the damper onto a different part of its stroke, which enables it to work more effectively. That could certainly explain why you get less wallowing on the side of the tyre mid-bend now, because maybe there's some suspension damping going on, which there wasn't before. So yeah, this is a lovely road, and as you can see, as per usual, not a lot of traffic. Quite a few cyclists you get on this road, but usually only the odd car. So yeah, I don't think I'll be rushing to upgrade the shocks now at all, because I'm quite happy with the setup as it is. This bike's never going to be super plush. I think it's as good as it's going to get. So to recap, those are my settings. For a 75 kilo rider, we're looking at 3 clicks of preload, and I'm running. There you go, that was a horrible tree root there, and I just rode over that. There was another one, and my back is fine. Yeah, so 3 clicks of preload now, 30 instead of 32 psi in the rear, and 31 instead of 32 in the front. and I think that's fine. I'm going to stick with that. So yeah, you can stay with me until we get to Alto de Velefique again, and then we'll wrap this video up. So that's basically all I wanted to do today, was try and optimise my suspension setup, my tyre pressures. I'm happy now, I'm not going to mess about anymore. This will do for me. And I also wanted to try these different camera settings and my audio position, the microphone position. So please let me know in the comments how you're finding it now, because my testing suggests that the audio is a lot louder now, so there should be more headroom for recording audio on a windier day, which is something I desperately need, because like I said, it's more often than not quite windy around here. It's lovely today. It's going to be 35 degrees again, but I'm out early today. It's 10:30, so it's still a little bit fresh out, and I've got my light gear on, and it's awesome because I'm not sweating at all, which makes a nice change. And of course, as we climb as well, it's getting a little bit cooler. Yeah, I definitely should ride this road more often. The trouble is I have to ride that horrible washboardy road to get here. That's the trouble. That's why I don't tend to ride this road very often. But it's a lovely road. Yeah, that'll do. So yeah, anyway, apologies any Norman fans. Norman is due a video really, but obviously I needed to do a back-to-back on the Meteor to finalise my suspension settings and tyre pressures. So we've ended up with a few Meteor videos in a row now, but I am hoping to film the 1,000-mile first impressions review of Norman very soon. So yeah, there should be some Norman action before very long. Hopefully the next video will actually be a Norman video if everything goes to plan. Yeah, I thought that was quite a bumpy little bit there, and I was on the side of the tyre, but he just soaked it up like no problem at all. It's a bit windier up here, a bit more exposed. Yeah, so it's just over 15 minutes to come up here, so that's not too long at all. I've got good visibility today, look at that. Go and have a look from the car park up the top here. See what we can see today. A little bit less hazy than last time we were up here anyway. Well, there you go. Today we can actually see the sea over there. I don't know if you can see it on the GoPro, but I can see it. So yeah, it's a lot clearer today. Let's go and check out the other side. Best of all, let's check out Buddy. He's awesome. Hi Buddy, you're looking good mate, looking good. Still haven't put his panniers on, well, you know, because I was messing with the shocks, so obviously the panniers would be in the way, so that's the next job now. I've stopped fiddling with the shocks, get the panniers back on. Yeah, and that's the view from that side. Ta-da! Good, right, so we'll wrap this one up then. So yeah, that was my little back-to-back testing. Let me know how you found the audio and the video today. That would be very helpful. Hopefully it's an improvement. And yeah, give me the old thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one, which will hopefully be with Norman, because Buddy needs a rest. So yeah, I'll be off home now to get Ruby her sausage. Bye bye. So Ruby, it's time for sausages. And today's sausages are from Bob Kidd and Sydney. Thank you, Bob and Sydney. Oh, you're very excited by your sausages. Good girl. Nice one. Sausages. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Sydney. Nice sausages.